Personal documents such as datebooks, messages, scrapbooks, online journals, Facebook posts, obligation logs, occurrence reports, reflections, diaries, and daily papers. We also have physical evidence such as flyers, publications, plans, handbooks, and training materials. Itong it depends upon the nature of your study, what is your objective, what are the aims of your research. Depende siya kung ano yung kakailanganin ninyo. Either public records ba, personal documents, or physical evidence. Usually, um, kapag if you want to explore or investigate mga review of related literature of uh, particular topics, particular issues or phenomenons, usually you use physical evidence. You may use publications, yung mga papers or research articles being published na. And we have interview. An interview is a conversation for gathering information. A research interview involves an interviewer who coordinates the process of the conversation and asks questions, and an interviewee who responds to those questions. Interviews can be conducted face-to-face or over the telephone. The internet is also emerging as a tool for interviewing. Okay, just like what you did last semester for your qualitative research, interview yung ginawa ninyo. You ask questions from your participants. Um, I think yung ginawa ninyo is nag-conduct kayo ng face-to-face um, through Google Forms. You utilize the advancement of internet. So you can use any strategy when it comes to interviewing your research participants. Interviews are an appropriate method when there is a need to collect in-depth information on people's opinions, thoughts, experiences, and feelings. Interviews are useful when the topic of inquiry relates to issues that require complex questioning and considerable probing. So, itong interview, it's not just it's different from sa quantitative na your research respondents will rate or will scale depending on the statement or the question being provided in the instrument. Itong interview, you can probe, you can ask follow-up questions aside from the questions that are indicated in the research instrument, just like what you did last semester. Right. An interview schedule is basically a list containing a set of structured questions that have been prepared to serve as a guide for interviewers, researchers, and investigators in collecting information or data about a specific topic or issue. The schedule will be used by the interviewer who will fill in the questions with the answers received during the actual interview. It's like the queue of the researcher or interviewer. What are the things that you're going to ask to your uh, research participants are being listed in the interview schedule. At least you have a guide. You know what are the things that you need to ask to them. You also have focus group interviews. Our interviews you conduct with a group of participants to collect a variety of information. These interviews can be as small as 4 participants and sometimes as large as 10. I recommend keeping a focus group interview between 4 and 8 participants. Itong focus group interviews, if you are interviewing participants with more than 1 participants, kapag maraming participants ang in-interview ninyo, grupo sila. So it's very important kasi in focus group interviews, it's very important na may kasama yung interviewer more than one so that ang yung isa, one interviewer should facilitate the focus group discussion. Ask questions, probe, follow-up questions to the research participants, and the other one or kasama ninyo will be the one to encode Especially if verbal yung interview. Hindi magsasagot sa papel yung participants. It's because you need to encode the transcript. I-transcribe nyo yung whole conversation or whole interview. Even yung mga pauses during the interview, it's very important that you need to include that. Then we have life history interviewing. It is a qualitative method of data collection where people are asked to document their life over a period of time. It is a personal account of their life in their own words and using their own personal timeline. So in life history interviewing, it refers to documenting the personal life of your research participant or research subject. So it's about the personal information being accounted or documented. Then we have three types of interview. Interviews can be designed differently depending on the needs being addressed in the information. They can be grouped into three types. So depending on the method, the appropriate method that you're going to use for your research. It depends upon the demand of your research, whether you're going to use structured and unstructured or semi-structured. So for the first type of um, interview, tong structured interviews. In a structured interview, the interviewer asks a set of standard, predetermined questions about particular topics in a specific order. The respondents need to select their answers from a list of options. The interviewer may provide clarification on some questions. Structured interviews are typically used in surveys. So in structured interviews, ito yung you have a standardized set of questions. Meron na kayong list of questions before the proper process of interview. Meaning, you're going to stick to your list. Kung ano yung mga questions ninyo sa list ninyo or nasa instrument ninyo. Kaya siya structured, it's because predetermined siya. You can only clarify the thoughts or ideas of the questions if yung respondents or participants ninyo are having a hard time to understand the question. Pwede niyo siya uh, what do you call that? I-emphasize, but it's very important that you don't need, you should not give an idea of what's the answer of the question kasi pwede siya mabias ang answer sa inyong participant. So, clarify lang ninyo. Do not suggest an answer. Next, you have semi-structured interviews. In a semi-structured interview, the interviewer uses a set of predetermined questions and the respondents answer in their own words. Some interviewers use a topic guide that serves as a checklist to ensure that all respondents provide information on the same topics. Itong semi-structured interviews, meron kayong standardized questions, pero you can ask follow-up questions or you can probe your research participants or respondents. You can ask questions na wala doon sa prepared set of questions. But the questions that you're going to ask, yung mga follow-up questions, should be related to the topics of your questions. Kung gusto niyo mag-follow up question doon sa research participants or respondents ninyo. So dapat related pa rin siya. Ito naman unstructured interviews. The interviewer has no specific guidelines, restrictions, predetermined questions, or list of options. The interviewer asks a few broad questions to engage the respondent in open, informal, and spontaneous discussion. Itong unstructured interviews, the interviewers or the researchers do not have questions prepared before the interview. Although you have a topic in your mind, what are the things that you're going to ask to your respondents, pero spontaneous siya. Hindi ka nag-prepare talaga ng set of questions. Walang questionnaire. You just know what are the things that you're going to ask to your uh, research participants. Ano yung topic? Then next we have observation. Observation, as the name implies, is a way of collecting data through observing. Observation data collection method is classified as a participatory study because the researcher has to immerse herself or himself in a setting where her or his respondents are while taking notes and or recording. Itong observation naman, you're not going to ask questions to your participants or respondents, but the thing is you're going to observe the behavior, the attitude, the lifestyle, and you should be careful. Kasi as what we have discussed yesterday, yung mga uh, factors that can affect the the process of research, of gathering data, yung mga threats sa external validity, yung Hawthorne effect. If your participants are aware or conscious that someone is observing them, then they might not act naturally or behave in a natural manner, their usual manner. So it's very important that you need to be natural when you observe. Hindi yung you're going to cause tension or parang yung magkakos ka ng negative impression sa participants in you. It's because it can affect their attitude during the time that they are being observed. So, itong observation usually used kapag yung mga studies about tribal, ethnical studies, kasi yung researcher kailangan talaga tumira doon sa village or sa place or location kung saan, kung ano yung tribal group na pinag-aaralan niya. So meaning you need to immerse, you need to live according to their lifestyle. You need to adjust to their way of living. So ganun siya. So you can take notes or record, whether audio recording or video recording. Observation must be done in a quiet and inconspicuous manner. Meaning, dapat dili ka paka-disturb during the time sa taga-observe ka sa ilaha. It should be spontaneous, it should be natural when it comes to interacting with them. Then we have types of observation. Observation as a data collection method can be structured or unstructured. In structured or systematic observation, data collection is conducted using specific variables and according to a predefined schedule. Meaning, sa structured or systematic observation, you have a list of things that you're going to observe. Meaning, nakalista na daan kung unsa inyong mga i-observe sa imuhang research participants or subjects. Excuse me. We say unstructured observation, on the other hand, is conducted in an open and free manner in a sense that there would be no predetermined variables or objectives. Meaning, what did you observe during the whole process that isulat lang nimo siya or i-document or i-account lang nimo. Whatever it is. So it's different. It's structured. You already have a list of things what you're going to observe to your subjects or participants. In unstructured observation, you will just list down, you're just going to document, account everything that you have observed sa whole process. We also have physiological measures. The technique applied for physiological measures involves the collection of physical data from the subjects. It is considered more accurate and objective than other data collection methods kasi it involves number. ma-measure man gud siya. That's why it is highly objective, itong physiological measures. Usually used in science, sa science. Like for example, itong mga measuring instrument, like stethoscope, thermometer, itong weighing scale. These are the instruments that can be used when it comes to measuring. Like sa thermometer, ang temperature sa body, weighing scale, ang weight. We also have psychological test. Psychological testing is the administration of psychological tests which are designed to be an objective and standardized measure of a sample behavior. Okay, remember yung mga nag-study about mathematics anxiety, sa pagganito, na ay, sige itong sa ano gani, sa wait, sa Humes. Basta it's about psychological ano gyapon to study. Kaya siya, meron kayong standardized set of criteria kasi it's a psychological test yung ginagawa ninyo. Like for example, yung sa math anxiety, you need to make sure yung research participants, sa ano niya katong previous study, kasi you need to make sure na yung participants ninyo may issue talaga about anxiety. Kasi kung wala siyang issue about anxiety, then it's hard to obtain a genuine data, yung appropriate data para sa study. Kasi in the first place, wala naman siyang anxiety. So dapat, ano, hindi naman sa mag-diagnose tayo, pero at least meron siyang, ano ba, what do you call that? Ma-hit niya yung criteria para sa research participants ninyo. So the term sample of behavior refers to an individual's performance and tasks that have usually been prescribed beforehand. The samples of behavior that make up paper and pencil tests, the most common type of tests, are a series of items. Kung psychological test, ang raming psychological test na pwede gamitin. If you are conducting personality test, sa, what do you call that, test in order to measure kung may mental health issues ba, yung mga psychoneuro test, psychological test, ito lahat. Performance on these items produce a test score. A score on a well-constructed test is believed to reflect a psychological construct such as achievement in a school subject, cognitive ability, aptitude, emotional functioning, personality, etc. I remember when I was still a student in USEP, sa 4 years ko doon, meron talagang every year nagkakandak ng psychological test. Merong aptitude test, merong emotional intelligence, merong personality test. These are examples of psychological test na ginagawa ng USEP sa students. So, ang ginagawa namin, nagsiscale kami based on the statements or questions doon sa questionnaire. Differences in test scores are thought to reflect individual differences in the construct the test is supposed to measure. The science behind psychological testing is psychometrics. So when you measure the personality type, the emotional intelligence, yung mga aptitude, cognitive abilities, ginagamitan siya ng psychometrics. Kaya tawag sa mga tawag doon, sa mga psychology graduates kapag nakapasa sila sa they call that sa licensure exam for professional licensure, mga psychometrician yung tawag sa kanila. Kasi may measure sila ng psychological state ng client nila. So we have different types of personality tests. First is ito yung ink blot test. So example ito, or the Rorschach ink blot test. Wait lang, let me check the proper pronunciation of this. I don't know how to pronounce. Rorschach. This is a Rorschach ink blot test. The Rorschach test is a psychological test in which subjects' perceptions of ink blots are recorded and then analyzed using psychological interpretation, complex algorithms, or both. Some psychologists use this test to examine a person's personality characteristics and emotional functioning. So, itong sa ink blot test, halimbawa, if ipapakita ng psychometrician or kung sino yung nag-administer ng test, halimbawa ito siya, uh, the psychometrician or the administer will ask you to interpret kung ano yung nakikita nyo sa image. So, the result will depend on your interpretation. So, bahala na yung psychometrician mag-interpret kung ano man yung ibig sabihin ng interpretation mo dito sa specific na image or inkblot na to. So, ganito yung inkblot test. You're going to interpret the image. What you see sa image. Ganun siya. Next one, we have thematic apperception test. The thematic apperception test, or TAT, is a projective measure intended to evaluate person's patterns of thoughts, attitudes, observational capacity, and emotional responses to ambiguous test materials. In the case of TAT, the ambiguous materials consist of a set of cards that portray human figures in a variety of settings and situations. The subject is asked to tell the examiner a story about each card that includes the following elements: the event shown in the picture, what has led up to it, what the characters in the picture are feeling and thinking, and the outcome of the event. So, ito naman, medyo similar siya sa inkblot test because you're going to interpret the image. But the thing is, meron siyang abstract itong inkblot test. Depende kung ano nakikita mo. Ito naman, meron talaga siyang image ng tao. And then, you're going to interpret like the emotions or the story behind the picture, behind the faces of the persons depicted in the image. So, depende kung anong interpretation nyo, dun magbe-base ng result sa thematic perception test. Then we have Myers-Briggs type indicator. Ito one of the most popular personality type. It is an introspective self-report questionnaire with the purpose of indicating differing psychological preferences in how people perceive the world around them and make decisions. The original versions of the MBTI were constructed by two Americans, Catherine Cook Briggs and her daughter Isabel Briggs Myers. The MBTI is based on a conceptual theory proposed by Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, who had speculated that people experience the world using four principal psychological functions: sensation, intuition, feeling, and thinking. And the one that these four functions is dominant for a person most of the time. So, although this is one of the most prominent personality type being used even sa mga companies, mini-measure nila yung personality type ng kanilang employees, pero may other expert contested about the validity of this personality type kasi, diba, it is based on the theory proposed by Carl Jung. Hindi siya observation, it's not rooted sa kanang experimental study gyud. It's just the observation of Carl Jung na gigamit ni Briggs and Myers na para sa ilahang kini nga specific na personality type. Kaya dagag siya naga-contest about ani nga nga personality type. Although ginagamit gihapon siya. So we have different types of personalities. 16 personality types being indicated sa kini nga test. We have INTJ, INTP, so on and so forth. So you're going to answer series of questions, and then ang inyong personality based sa result, i-label mo sa base ani nga 16 nga personal. Sa ako kato nag-take ko ani na test, ang sige ko, INFP, the mediator. Muna akong personality type. Okay, later on, we're going to give you an assignment. Let's try to answer the Myers-Briggs para makabalo mo sa inyong personality. Tingaw ni siya nga test i-take. Isend na ko ang link later after this one sa atong discussion. And other psychological tests, itong Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory or MMPI. Itong MMPI, it is a psychological test that assess personality traits and psychopathology. Meaning, it is primarily used to test people who are suspected with mental health issues. Itong Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory. Aside sa personality test, gina-measure po niya people with suspected mental health problems. So ginagamit siya pag mag-diagnose mental illness. Then we have Edwards Personal Preference Schedule. It is a personality test that rates individuals based according to their needs and motives. So you are being rated in order to know what are your motivations and what are your needs as an individual. Next, we have questionnaire. Questionnaire is a research instrument consisting of a series of questions for the purpose of gathering information from respondents. Questionnaires can be thought of as a kind of written interview. They can be carried out face-to-face, by telephone, computer, or post. So this is what you're going to use for your study. You're going to make or design a questionnaire. One of the most commonly used research instrument para sa research studies. So questionnaire is a list of questions about a particular topic with spaces provided for the response to each question and intended to be answered by a number of persons. The questionnaire can be structured or unstructured. So structured questionnaires provide possible answers and respondents just have to select from them, while unstructured questionnaires do not provide options and the respondents are free to give whatever answer they want. So itong the difference between these two types of questionnaires, kung structured, merong alternative or options yung respondents ninyo, meaning like my questionnaire or my scale rating, 1 to 5 or 1 to 7. Ito namang unstructured questionnaires, ito yung like ginawa ninyo last semester. Kasi more of opinion ng participants ang nire-require kapag unstructured questionnaires. Then the relationship of the review of related literature to the questionnaire. This is what I always emphasize. Why I want you to enrich your related literature. Kasi most of you or all of you, walang standardized na research instrument para ma-adapt sa study. You're going to make your own. Okay, the review of related literature and studies must have sufficient information and data to enable the researcher to thoroughly understand the variables being investigated in a study. So, para alam niyo yung range or yung scope ng questions ninyo, para ma-cover ninyo ang dapat ninyo i-cover, para ma-measure ninyo ang dapat ma-measure. The descriptive indicator gathered from different sources are called indicators for the specific variable, and they are used in making sure that the content of the questionnaire is valid. So, ang related literature, kailangan siya para sa validity sa question. Kasi dili man mo pwede magbuhat-buhat lang og questions para sa inyong research. You need to have a reference, standard reference para sa inyong research instrument pag mag-construct na mo. You need to anchor your questions based doon sa mga published work of experts. Kaya kailangan yung related literature when it comes to constructing your research instrument. And there are different types of questions. We have first, yes or no type. So yes or no type, you only have two options. The respondents, it's either yes or no. Nothing more, nothing less. Yes or no siya. We also have recognition type. Sa recognition type, ito yung close-ended questions, meaning may alternative answers are already provided in the questionnaire. Meaning the respondents just have to choose among the options or alternatives what are going to answer. We also have completion type. Itong completion type, it consists of series of items which requires the test to fill a word or phrase on the blanks, meaning mag-fill in the blank ang yung respondents. We also have coding type. Say coding type, pre-coded yung questionnaire. This means that a number is assigned in advance to each possible answer. So may similarity siya sa recognition type kasi ano na, predetermined na yung answer ng respondents. May option sila. We also have subjective type. It requires answers in a form of explanations, essays, short answers, definitions, meaning open-ended question ito. Whatever the answers of the respondents will be accepted. Then we have combination type. Combination among these five types of questions. For example, ito. This is an example of yes or no type of question. Do you believe that the death penalty is ever justified? There are only two options. It's either yes or no. This is an example of recognition type. Like what is your highest educational attainment? Elementary ba, high school, or college? And this is a completion type. Fill in the blank. Ito naman, coding type ito. In a scale of 1 to 10, how will you rate the skills of your manager? Then we have subjective. Like, what do you think of the horrible effects of pollution? So it depends upon the opinion or knowledge of the participants or respondents of the study. Naman, how you're going to construct the questions in your research instrument. Like, state questions in an affirmative rather than in a negative manner. So, the way you construct your question, kailangan positive siya ang inyuhang pag-construct. So it's up to the respondents kung dili siya inana o mag-rate lang siya 1 or 2 or if neutral siya 3. So meaning you need to construct your questions in a positive manner. Avoid ambiguous questions. Examples, those which contains words like many, always, usually, few. Kasi you cannot you cannot quantify or measure itong words na to adverbs na many, always, usually, few. Adverb of time is hard to measure. Kaya you need to be specific. Avoid double negation questions. Like, don't you disagree with the idea that minors be not allowed to drink anymore? Itong, it can cause confusion kasi, like, the presence of the word do not, of the words do not, at saka disagree. Double negation na siya. So, it's very important that you need to clarify the questions sa inyong statement, instrument. Avoid double-barreled questions, like asking two questions in one question. Like, for example, we'll be happy joining Division Quiz B and be given additional examinations afterwards. Dapat one thought or one notion at a time sa inyong question. Scales commonly used in an instrument. We have Likert scale. It is a rating scale often found on survey forms that measures how people feel about something. It includes a series of questions that you ask people to answer, and ideally 5 to 7 balanced responses. So, pwede siya 5-point Likert scale or 7-point Likert scale. Likert scale. So, in your case, 5 lang yung gagamitin natin. 5-point. I will show you an example later. Okay. Halimbawa, ito siya. We have, For example, the statement, the quality of our brand. Very unsatisfied ba? Unsatisfied, neutral, satisfied, very satisfied. So, i-rate lang ng respondents ninyo. Another example. Strongly disagree, disagree, neutral, agree, or strongly agree. Then we have semantic differential. It is a scale in which 7-point rating scale used to derive the respondent's attitude towards the given object or event by asking him to select an appropriate position on scale between two bipolar adjectives. Itong semantic differential scale, um, iba siya kasi dito sa Likert scale, it's either we're going to rate, halimbawa ito, strongly disagree, disagree, neutral, agree, strongly agree. Pero ito, adjectives yung ginagamit. Halimbawa, kung i-rate ninyo ang teacher ninyo, kung organized ba siya or unorganized, cold or warm, modern or old-fashioned, unreliable, reliable, complex, or simple, you're not going to use numbers. Rather, you're going to use words, specifically adjectives, na nagde-describe ng person or object na nire-rate ninyo. Ito yung semantic differential. Sometimes the negative adjectives are placed on the right and sometimes on the left side of a scale. This is done to control the tendency of the respondents, especially those with either very positive or negative attitudes, to mark the right or left-hand sides of a scale without reading the label. So, meron ding psychology behind the arrangement of, what do you call that? Kung ano, even sa Likert scale. Uh, Usually sa Likert scale, nauuna yung negative, positive. Kasi kapag hindi nababasa ng, usually kasi there's a tendency your respondents will not read the instruction. So, una-una lang, for example, kung 1, mababa siya. Kung 1 to 5, 1 yung mababa, 5 yung pinakamataas. Yan yung thinking ng respondents. Kaya, we need to uh, construct the instrument that can align to the psychological mindset of your respondents. Ito, halimbawa. Hmm. Hmm. Eh. So that's the end of the discussion. I'm going to show you yung sample ng research instrument. Wait lang. I'll show you first yung sa Likert scale value allocation, description, and interpretation. So, gagamitin ninyo is 5-point Likert scale lang. So, ito yung scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yung range or value allocation. For 1, ito pag minimesh, pag kinukuha na ninyo yung mean score ng data. For example, yung sa scale ang 1, 1.0 to 1.79, strongly disagree yung description yan. At yung interpretation, low. Halimbawa, dito tayo. Ito sa statement na to, I like to play video games which can give me satisfaction. For example, in this specific statement, kung ang mean niya ay from 2.60 to 3.39, meaning average lang. Kung ito naman na statement, I like to play video games which can provide amusement and happiness, kung ang mean niya is nasa 3.40 to 4.19, ibig sabihin above average siya, ang mean niya. Muna ang interpretation. Let me try to check sa mo ba ni? Ay, excuse me. Okay. Pakita na ako sa inyo ha, sample. Makita ninyo, guys, ang Excel. Makita ang Excel?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, for example,
Yes, sir.
kining may tatag ano. Kining empowerment 1, pasabot ani, this is the statement or question sa under empowerment nga variable or indicator. Then itong number ito, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ito yung number ng respondents. Merong 30 respondents dito. At saka itong number nito, kining 4, 4, 4, mo na ilahang girate sa statement number 1 under empowerment. So para makuha na to ang mean, sa yun lang kayo ni guys, average lang ni. Okay. So average niya or mean is 3.73, 733, so on. So if we're going to look at itong interpretation, 3.773, meaning naa siya diri sa above average ang kining nga statement. So ana lang. So actually, katong mga nag-descriptive na study, pwede ka mo na lang man ang mo measure or mo analyze sa inyuhang tawag ana sa inyuhang data gamit lang ang Excel. Pero katong nag-correlational, kailangan jud og statistician. Kaya sa una pag-correlate ang sa ano. Pero kung ang study ninyo is descriptive lang, kung i-measure lang ninyo ang variables or indicators sa study, pwede ka muna ang mag-analyze. Then wait lang. And when it comes to construction, the construction of your research instrument, halimbawa, itong sa study na personality traits and game design preference. Ito yung survey questionnaire for game design preferences. So, pag-construct sa questionnaire, you need to make sure kung unsa tong mag-base mo sa iyong variables o unsa tong indicators na naa sa variables. Halimbawa, itong sensation, fantasy, narrative, fellowship, discovery, challenge, expression, submission. These are the indicators for the variable game design preferences. So kailangan kompleto ang inyong questions that can measure these indicators. Itong sensation, fantasy, so on and so forth. And then you need to make sure kung pila ka question, each indicator, kailangan same sila tanan. Halimbawa, ito, naa siya'y upat ka question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. O, kailangan same siya tanan og number of questions. It depends upon the scope of specific indicator. Pero kailangan siya pantay siyang number kay ang ingon sa katong nag-seminar mi manggod last school year alagay last school year nag-seminar mi kasi it can affect the mean average. Pag daghan ang question, maka-affect siya sa result compared sa katong gamay lang og numbers numbers sa question sa other indicators or variable. So kailangan same siya tanan. And as what I have mentioned earlier, kailangan positive siya or affirmative ang pag-construct. Halimbawa, I like to play video games which can give me satisfaction. Positive dapat siya pa-construct. So, kung dili man ganahan ang respondent modula og video games sa makata og satisfaction sa iya, i-rate na lang na niya 1 or 2. So, depende na sa iya ha. So, kini siya mag-base gihapon ni siya sa related literature. So, balik mo sa related literature. Wait lang. Halimbawa, sensation. So, kini mga concepts na naa-dire, information na naa under sa sensation, mo ni siya among gigamit para maka-construct me ani nga questionnaire dire. Ana. So, nagets ninyo what's the relevance of related literature in constructing your research instrument. Kini siya adapted ni siya kay ano naman siya standardized naman gud ni siya daan nga sa tawag ano standardized na siya nga daan nga research instrument. Mura ni among gi-construct. Okay, do you have questions, clarifications sa inyong discussion? Are we clear about the topic?
Okay, clear, sir.
Okay. And then, nako i-send sa GC ha. Ano siya, try to answer this one katong sa Myers-Briggs na ano personality type. I-send nako ang link. And then, this Friday, this Saturday, mag-meet ta. It's because your task for this week, mag-start na mo og construct sa inyong research instrument. Kailangan, mag-start na mo, then ako anang i-check para tawag ma-validate na to ang inyong research instrument. By the way, na naman sa kuha to inyong gipang submit na di ba? Na revision sa paper, then i-check na nako didto ang inyong chapter 2 kung kung nag-align ba siya sa inyong instrument na nabuhat. So anyway, you have the samples naman sa Schoology. Pwede tan-awon ra to ninyo na added to. I suggest i-check ni ninyong wait lang. Kining personality traits and game design preferences og kining microfinance. Ako nagbuhat ani, although tanan me ako nag-validate ani sa tanang questionnaire except sa kining learning styles sa og sa multiple intelligence kay nana siya standardized nga test questionnaire. Pero kining tardiness wala naman mi nag ano ani nag survey questionnaire kay ano lang na mag-correlate lang na mo ang number of late sa students ug ilang academic performance. Ang kining sleep deprivation na nasa standardized na gigamit po di ay. So i-check lang ninyo ang kining ano ha, ang sa tawag ani oy, ang samples na diri para namoy idea on saon pag-construct ninyo. And mag-meeting ta karong Saturday mo update lang ko what time para i-consolidate ang inyuhang output para this week. Okay, by the way, class, let me remind you again that please help your leaders or your members pag magbuhat mo. Kasi part man mo sa grupo, maka-receive man gyapon mo og grade. It's very unfair to those na nag-ano ba, nagtrabaho gyud, naglihok gyud sa paper ninyo. Na ma-appreciate nako ng grupo na tanan or halos tanan na naglihok jud sa paper. Unlike sa katong mga grupo na mga members wala nagatabang. Please tabangin ninyo inyuhang ano, inyuhang kagrupo. Kaya karong Saturday mag-consolidate ko sa inyo kung unsay progress ninyo. Kailangan mabuhat na ninyo as soon as possible kay para maka-proceed na mo sa other parts sa chapter 3. Okay, gamitan ni ninyong ano ha katong value allocation na naa sa sample sa dere. The same lang na sila tanan og value allocation. Gamitan na ninyo. Okay, do you have questions, clarifications? Okay na ta? Wala na? I think that's it. That's the end of our discussion for this morning. By the way, 11:51 na. Mag-send ako i-send na ano nga link sa GC tapos answerin ninyo. Okay? And that's it. Bye guys. Thank you for your cooperation for this meeting. I'm going to end the meeting na.